Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. I don't know how well I'm going to sound coming across this week. I feel like I got hit by the truck that I normally drive, and this is the first day in about 3 days I've actually had any voice, or much of a voice at all. So if I cough or sneeze or drink some water to save my voice during this video, I apologize in advance for the unprofessionalism, but I am dedicated to you people, especially the 7 new people who joined this week to subscribe. That takes us almost to 20, so huzzah. Organic growth, I enjoy that. So, if you've watched a couple of these videos, you know where we start. It's the Notebook of Knowledge, and this week we have more information than your notebook can handle. That's right, we have a whole bunch of new stuff to talk about, both new kit information as well as some kits that came out. We're not going to go too deep into the fact that we now have Revell's finally first quarter release information. We'll probably just skip over that entirely because we'll be doing a whole other video on the first quarter of 2015, as well as, of course, we now know what Revell is doing for November, so the November video will be coming along shortly as well. But what we do have this week, specifically for this week, are one actual brand new tool kit. We very rarely do we ever see these. It seems like, you get mostly modified reissues or we've added masking seals to this or decals to that, and that's been what the new releases have been almost all of 2014, it seems like, from everybody. Nobody escapes the wrath of that this year. But we actually have an honest-to-God brand new tool to talk about this week, as well as 2 new of these modified reissues. Those are from Aoshima, the brand new tool from Hasegawa, really showing up quite early. We didn't expect the Nissan pickup truck to come out till the end of November, or possibly the beginning of December, and it showed up this morning. So Hasegawa's release dates on their corporate website are conservative, apparently. So anyway, what we have to talk about this week, looking at it here, from last month to finish out October, almost, we said that round 2 stuff needed to come out, as well as the 1/12 scale Tamiya F1 kit that was back from 1973, and they've sort of updated it with a little photo etch and some stuff. That has been pushed back to mid-November. It had actually been pushed back to mid-November before I said it was not out on time. So technically, I'm going to give Tamiya a pass on that and say that I just didn't go look it up because I'm not that into 1/12 scale F1 cars. It was just a thing when I was putting together the November list for the November video. I happened to look to see when this was supposed to come out, and it had been moved. So round 2 this week did put out the from MPC, the 1940 Ford Fire Chief. That's a snap-tight kit. It is what it is. I guess if you're of a certain age bracket, I guess from the late 70s, early 80s, and you remember building this kit and you really want to build it again, I get the nostalgia. We discussed this in depth last video, the nostalgia thing. When I got back into building seriously, probably way more seriously than my wife would have ever expected or enjoys, I did go back to eBay because the only way I could get these kits, because a lot of them were annuals from Monogram, from Revell, and from AMT. I did go back and get quite a few of the kits that I'd managed to butcher the ever-living Jesus out of back when I was in my single digits and early teens, and I have them again now, so that if I want to build them, slightly more professionally is not the word I'm looking for, but at least not so horribly childlike, I can do that now. So I sort of get the nostalgia of it, although I've never once looked at any snap-tight kit I've built and went, yeah, remember those snap-tight days? Boy, I wish I could relive that. No, I don't do that, and I don't think anybody else does either, but you know what? I get box art, and I get collectability, and all the rest of that stuff. It's the first time that kit's been available in decades, obviously, but there's nothing new about it. The other kit that came out of MPC this week would be the 1/20th scale AMC AMX from 1970. Now, this is, again, a big 1/20th scale. I stepped all over who was in charge of 1/20th scale at MPC several videos ago, so I'm not going to do that again because it's probably already slipped out of my mind the correct names. So we'll just say that this kit has been retooled to include the factory stock wheels as well as a clear hood scoop. I guess. I can't say anything about the clear parts because, as most people know, quite a few Tamiya kits are available either with clear bodies entirely, or clear hoods, or they also, like the Ferrari 360 Modena and the 360 Spider, have clear undercarriages. The back diffuser tray is also available, so you could put it on there as being clear rather than being a color part, so you can see the underside of your engine and things like that. So the clear hood scoop, lets you see into your engine. I don't fault that. It's just a sort of an odd thing. Why not a whole hood? Why just the hood scoop? But obviously that kit has not been out since the 1970s either, so, once again, a long ago forgotten kit that has come back out of the vaults over at Round 2. The one thing that Round 2 did not seem to get out this week that I can find anywhere online or locally is that 53 Ford pickup truck that's being backdated to the Craftsman 3-in-1 the original way. I could find several of the original kits on eBay, and they're selling for next to nothing all of a sudden. Gotta love it when they reissue stuff that's, long gone, because all of a sudden that, bank account that you had of model kits that you were going to retire on, it doesn't exist anymore. I always enjoy that. So there is that as far as the domestic kits go. From the new stuff, the brand new stuff that we have to talk about, are going to be December releases, and those are 4 spot runs from Aoshima. That would be the Nissan Gloria 280 Brougham. This is like a mid-80s Nissan Gloria. That is a best vintage car, generic motorized chassis. They're going to do yet another run of the Rocket Bunny kit. This one's going to be the Enki Racing wheels, so that's the red one. Also going to be rerunning the Aventador Photo Etch. I don't know if it's just there's been a run on that since the Aventador Roadster came out, because the Aventador Roadster does not have a specific set of Photo Etch, but you can use probably like 90% of the Photo Etch for the one for the coupe for that Roadster. There are a few pieces that won't fit because they're not the same thing on the Roadster. And then last but not least, and probably something we'd like to never ever see again, I think I could collectively speak for pretty much everybody who builds import model kits on a regular basis, they're re-releasing the Volkswagen Beetle 1303S. Guys, that is an old IMA tool. It's not even an Aoshima tool. I can't even call it a best car vintage, and neither do they, because there's nothing best about it. If you have never been the unfortunate victim of one of these 3 Beetles that IMA made that Aoshima got the tooling for, and I don't even know why Aoshima bought this tooling. I mean, they bought it a long time ago. IMA has been around for probably 25, 30 years now. But these kits are not only motorized, so not only is the chassis junk to begin with, because it's a motorized chassis, but IMA there were toys. There were like promotional models, basically, that were battery-powered and motorized. The chassis, there's 3, at least, that I can think of off the top of my head, Beetles. There's this one they're reissuing. There's a Super Beetle that everybody's really excited about because they showed a picture of the real car on the box, and that's not what came in the box at all. And there's also a Cabriolet Beetle. All of these things have a giant effing hole in the chassis. Literally the size of, well, a deck of cards or a pack of cigarettes, depending on, if you're over 18 or not. Don't want to offend the children with cigarette references. To put AA batteries into it. There are a lot of these best car vintage kits that still have parts of the motorized chassis, but a lot of them have been taken out. It seems like the most parts they leave in are just stuff that's sort of structural to the way the kit fits together. And yeah, it's unfortunate there's a switch or a battery box or the carriage for the old motor or stuff like that's left in, and obviously just the generic nature of those chassis. We've been over this 10,000 times. But not only is there a carrier box for the motorized part, not only do you have a switch in the bottom of the thing, but there's a case for batteries, which means there's a battery door that has to go over that. Now, you could, of course, glue the door on and putty your way around the outside edge there, fill it in and sand it down, and will you not have a box anymore? You still have a shitty chassis, just not with a big hole in it anymore. But because it's a battery box, it sits, as thick as a deck of cards or a pack of cigarettes as well, and so you could fit AA batteries into it. And that makes the interior half as deep as it should be. So not only is this kit, not the greatest body dimensions. IMA kits were not the scale they said they were. They either ran big or small, depending on I don't know who was smoking dope at what factory that day. and the interior is shit. I know I'm cursing a lot in this, and I apologize, but you guys need to know the facts, and that are the facts. If you have a Johan kit with a narrow, narrow interior, as deep as the day is long compared to the IMA kits. The only thing I can think of that's even similar are the 1960s cars that Hasegawa did a series of. That the body dimensions are really nice on, but then the interior is like this thick. And you have your drivers are like 1.5 foot tall scale in order to fit in this thing. Same thing with these IMA kits. You may IMA probably is most famously known for that 1/24 scale Black London taxi thing. That's like 1/22 scale in motorized. That for some reason not only does Aoshima sell, but then Revell of Germany repackaged the last couple of years ago. So. Avoid those at all costs. I apologize to my friends at Aoshima, but no, stop reissuing those kits. I don't know anybody who buys them. Somebody must because they're reissuing it, but I don't know. We got a gnat here all of a sudden. I don't know anybody who buys those kits that isn't just tragically disappointed when they open the box. So please, for the love of all that is good and holy, don't buy that and be that disappointed person. Hasegawa, we talked about this last month, maybe a month and a half ago. They were going to be reissuing in a limited run sort of specification their Toyota Corolla 1600 GT, which compared to the best car vintage one that Aoshima does is like worlds better because it is curbside, but at least there's a real chassis underneath of it. This one is going to be what they're calling the genuine wheel thing. Or, no, well, they're not calling it a genuine wheel thing. They're calling it a genuine wheel, and I'm calling it a thing. It's going to have a different set of wheels and a different set of decals compared to the normal 1600 GT that you can order off of HobbyLink Japan, Hobby Search. You may be able to get that through Tower, maybe, because Tower carries some Hasegawa kits, but not all of them. But the 1600 GT, in and of itself, is what they call, a catalog kit. It's always going. Tamiya has catalog kits. Revell around to everybody, because if you go look at like Revell's website, you'll see all the kits that are available, and you'll see some disappear, they're discontinued, and then the new ones come in. Well, the stuff that's just there are the catalog kits. If you're of a certain age, you may remember that model companies used to put out actual physical color catalogs, and not talking about the old AMT blueprinter, but an actual physical catalog. And those are the kits that are always in production in some form or fashion, so that they're always in stock. Well, the Hasegawa 1600 GT Celica, as well as the Celica race version, are catalog kits. They're always available. This one is going to be a limited edition. I don't know how many pieces they're going to run of it this way, but it is being marketed by Hasegawa as limited edition. So if you want this one specifically with these wheels, and I believe they're they call them genuine wheels because it has the actual real wheels that a 1600 Corolla should have, as opposed to the Watanabe style wheels that the kit actually contains. The fact that the one that's always in stock kind of thing, as well as having a full decal set. Now I have always wanted one of these 1600 GT kits, so I don't know what exactly they mean by full decal set, what it has compared to the other one. But it looks like it's going to have at least like full hockey stick isn't quite the right word you're looking for there, but hockey stick-ish. They're very long stripes going outside the car. I don't actually believe they kick up as like hockey stripes. And there's a cat digging its way through my bottom shelf over there. Furry little people annoying me. And the other thing we have to talk about, well, actually two more things. Studio 27 and Taboo, because it's part of Studio 27, are going to be reissuing 4 different decal sheets. Decal sheets. Yes, I really did just say decal sheets. Could include 4 different decal sheets for the BMW M1. I'm trying to talk too fast. BMW M1 was just reissued by Revell of Germany last month. And these are old decal sheets that were done the last time that kit was reissued, and so they're going to be reissuing decals for it. There's a couple of Tour de Corsa ones. There's one that's a what they call a Map of France, which I believe is also a Tour de Corsa race, and then some of the regular just BMW factory decals. The other thing we have to talk about is Tamiya. Tamiya is going to be doing a variation of their Toyota 86 kit as the Gazoo Racing Toyota TRD 86, TRD Toyota Racing Development. this is for the 2013 TRD Rally Challenge. They had made a 1/10th scale RC version of this car already, and I kind of thought they were just going to scale that down. And I had a picture of that car, the real one, available. But it also appears that, at least through Tamiya's website, that they're going to be doing the sort of off-road rally version of it. There's a tarmac rally version. There was a version that Gazoo did for the Nuremberg Ring, as well as one that was sort of a gravel off-road rally version. And that's what they appear to be doing, which has steel wheels, which I thought was kind of funny because, you had the 1/10th scale RC car, you had the patterns for those wheels. I thought it would just been simpler to, take those patterns, shrink them down to 1/24th scale, and then, remake those wheels. But apparently they're going to go with the steel wheel version. So I guess, in the future we'll have a picture of that. I forgot to go grab it real quick because I thought I already had it, but I had the other one. And that's pretty much all the new stuff we have to talk about. There's, the November stuff, but we'll cover that in the November video. I guess officially we'll just run through this real quick. Round 2, one kit for November, the 1/32nd scale Glue Avanti, Studebaker Avanti. They're saying it's the beginning of the 1/32nd scale series, so I guess they're going to go dig out all of the 1/32nd scale glue kits and reissue them. I know some people will be happy about that. And then Revell is going to be doing a different version of the Audi R8 they just did last month. 2 different versions, color-wise. And the only thing is different, colors. The Audi R8's blue. Remember, the other one was orange. They're doing a black version of the ZL1 Camaro, an orange version of the 2013 Challenger SRT 8, and then the 1/24 scale. This is a monogram kit, not Revell of Germany. Porsche 911 Turbo. I think it's supposed to be a 1987, which puts it sort of in line with the Tamiya Porsche 911 Turbo, the 1988 kit. But remember that kit is a snap-tight kit. This one, while it is only like 87 parts, is a full detail glue kit. And that's, what we didn't know about November last month. We'll put out a video of November, so don't worry about trying to remember that. So that brings us to what came out this week overseas, because, I don't really do the pictures of the current stuff because, you just go to your hobby shop and find that. Some of the stuff, obviously, your hobby shop's not going to carry. From Aoshima, you have and these came out literally like right after I said, they'll be out a couple weeks. They came out the next day. So the Toyota Crown Athlete kits are out. Now, we've covered this in the past when we found out about them, and we heard about them. Drink coming up, please hold. That these kits are like 85% new. The only thing they share with the Crown Royal Saloon is the chassis. And all the chassis pieces that go along with it, obviously. But the body, the interior, the wheels, the chrome, the glass, and all that happiness is all brand new for these. So these are more new than anything else we've seen that is a modified reissue of sorts. And there's the catalog spec, which is, sort of the promotional version. And there was also a 20-inch wheel, custom wheel version. These two kits, but between the two of them, the only thing that's different is the wheels. There's no extra parts in the custom wheel version that the stock version doesn't have, other than their 20-inch wheels. If you order the 20-inch wheel kit, it only comes with the 20-inch wheels. The other factory stock wheels are not in there, so don't think, this one's in stock, I'll grab it and I'll just build it the stock weight. No, you can't. It only comes with those 20-inch SSR wheels. And then the brand new tool, very exciting. I guess if you're into this. If you're not, it's boring, but I'm excited. So we're all excited. Is this 1979 Nissan Sunny GB121 Long Body Deluxe pickup truck. This is a brand new tool. It shares no parts of anything with anything except perhaps there is a custom, what they're calling lowdown, a lowered version with these sort of Watanabe-ish style wheels, which may or may not be the same wheels that came with the Corolla 1600 GT we were talking about before. But they are not the same parts because they are not on a separate tree. They are on trees with parts out of this pickup truck. So it may be patterned after, but it's not the exact same thing. This box obviously showing you the completely and totally bone factory stock version. There is, like I said, a lowdown included with this. Basically, what you're going to get are a couple of lowering blocks for the back suspension and a pair of struts up front that are lower. And then you have the custom wheels. And that's it as far as the custom parts go. But it'll give this vehicle a different look, slammed and with different wheels on. It does not have a different set of tires, so your Watanabe wheels are going to ride on them little teeny weeny factory stock tires unless you replace those. I took a good look at the instructions with this. It looks really nice. There is no engine in it, but it does have a engine bottom insert. There is a hole, obviously, because you wouldn't have an engine insert bottom if you didn't have a hole. But there is a complete hole for an engine to go in there. Now, whether they're going to do something with an engine in the future with this, I don't know. They really don't ever seem to go back and add engines to things the way like Fujimi or Aoshima does. But it does have at least a separate bottom of an engine, so you're not stuck trying to paint the engine bottom and the chassis thing. The inner bed is separate from the outer bed, and it is 4 pieces anyway. Try to think of stuff about this kit that's sort of unique. And all the tie downs for the side, there are 5 tie downs on each side for tying freight down into your bed. Those are all separate pieces. A lot of this is separate pieces, like your mirrors, your fender mirrors are separate, and all the rest of this happiness. But it's really detailed, looks really good. From I realize it's a danger to claim that you know anything about a model kit based on looking at the instructions and the parts layout on Hobby Search, but I'm going to go ahead and say it looks good. But I've also seen build-ups of this. We featured a couple of them a couple weeks ago. There are also, in addition to having just a full set of decals and there is a mask or a metal Mylar decal for the rearview mirror. The side mirrors, the rearview mirror parts are separate chrome pieces. There are a set of foldable Hasegawa boxes for the bed, which is kind of funny because they're giant boxes. I mean, you'd be buying all of Hasegawa's website or warehouse rather, or their website, because you can order stuff directly from Hasegawa. But you'd be buying everything they have in stock, basically, because Asian kit box, long and narrow. You can fit about 40 of these model kits in a case, and these case boxes are about 3 times as big as they normally are. So you're literally, you're buying 500 Nissan Sunnies with these boxes. But it's a nice touch, just something you don't see a lot out of other people. The one thing I did notice about this kit is that there are another set of fender mirrors and another front bumper that are grayed out on the instructions. Do not use. There are also, on the instructions themselves, telling you to not put the armrests on the door and a catalytic converter on the exhaust pipe, because there's going to be another version of this kit coming along shortly. Now, there's no official word from Hasegawa, and this sort of fits into the first quarter 2015 speculation video that we'll be doing sometime this weekend. But they're probably more than likely going to be doing a GB122 long body deluxe truck. The only major differences are apparently they added armrests. Catalytic converters were added in because of emissions in 1981, and the front grille, instead of having this round headlights in this Nissan Sunny grille, it'll have square headlights and a different grille. But other than that, the kits are identical. It's grille, those fender mirrors, as well as some interior trim pieces and that catalytic converter. Obviously, the kit manufacturers, and this is true universally for everybody, will tool up all the variations of a tooling that they're planning to do at one time all at once. So that's why the parts are already in there and they're grayed out. The other grill will more than likely be on a separate runner, and so it's not actually in there. You can't build it one of two ways out of the box. You could build it, load custom, or regular factory stock, but you can't build the newer version. But this, as it stands out of that box, it'll build I believe a 71 to 79, and then the next version will be an 81 to, or 1980 rather, to like 89. These kits, the Sunny trucks, were in production almost into the 90s in South Africa and South America. Very popular little pickup trucks, and very cool to have. There aren't that many mini trucks of that era to begin with. You have the old AMT, MPC, like Ford Couriers and Dodge Ram D50s and stuff like that. The little mini trucks of Americans that were technically just rebadged import trucks. Anyway, but this is a brand new tool. 2014 technology, as opposed to that 1970s, 1980s AMT technology. One other thing we're going to cover real quick, and this will, go into more depth in the 2015 speculation video. We discussed before the Aoshima supercar variation of doing that 1988 spec Lamborghini Countach. There's still no word. This Sunday came and went of what the brand new tool is going to be. I think we're going to have to actually wait till this Sunday when they go do their display at the Hobby Expo thing in Yokohama. But they did release some more pictures of it, so we're going to take a real quick look-see here, directly from the blog over at Aoshima. Now, this black part on the bottom there that has the fins, that is going to be new, as well as the engine cover is going to be new. Those side fins right there were specific to the 88, 89 spec cars that were not 25th anniversary cars. Now, you get into the whole thing of like, well, how many Countach 5000 quattrovolts do I need? This was my thought too. I thought, well, I'll just buy this one because I don't own the other 5000 quattrovolt they did earlier. I will say for everybody here in the States that this is not going to have the US spec park bench bumpers. They've decided not to do that. Apparently, after doing a little feasibility study, it was found that there was no way to easily tool in those bumpers without having to modify the body in a way that would require, you to not be able to, you wouldn't be able to build it one way or the other. If they decide to do the US spec version bumpers in the future, it'll be its own kit, because the front and rear 5-mile-an-hour bumpers change the overall way the kit fits together in such a not so much dramatic fashion, but in such a noticeable fashion that there was no way that they could put the bumpers in and say, build it however you want to. It was significant enough that they just decided to go with the Euro Japanese spec 88 kit and go and run with it, which is sort of a shame, because even though the only variation of this kit that exists is the monogram kit, the monogram kit is not a US spec Countach either. It's a Euro spec one too. One reason you can't not buy this, I sound like a Aoshima salesman. One reason you can't buy this picture right here, courtesy Hobby Search, is the in gray prototype version. Now this kit exists, but this is the only picture of the engine I could find that was like really clear. This is the engine that's in the 5000 quattrovolt that exists already. That's already been out for like 2-3 years now. This is the engine that you can kind of sort of see. Blow your screen up full size. Stop watching these on your phone. That is going to be in this next one, because the 1988 spec, in addition to being 1988 spec, is also going to be a 1988 fuel-injected spec 5000 quattrovolt. So, how much does that fuel injection mean to you? Talking to a friend of mine, we thought that this looks a lot like the prototype fuel injection rather than the fuel injection that they wound up coming out with in the end. So, it is one of those kits that's going to be just varied enough, I think, to justify, if you're really into Countach, getting another one. It's up to you. I mean, I can't hold a gun to anybody's head about that, but the information is out there. There was no release date on that Countach. It'll be first quarter 2015 sometime. And, guys, that's where we're at. Save my voice and keep from prattling on anymore, because we got 2 more videos to do. And I guess, really, all the information that we're going to be spitting out, we got November 2014 monthly recap video. It'll be all of the kits we talk about coming out all in one place. If you're new to the channel, let me explain how this works. We do these weekly videos every Thursday. The date may change here coming up because my work may change here coming up, so we may go back to Wednesdays. But for right now, we're still on Thursdays. But November, we're going to do a video for all the kits that come out in November, because every week we're talking, hey, we got this one kit over here from this company and these two kits over here from this company. And it's hard to keep track of. So every month, at the beginning of the month, once we know what Revell's going to do, because Revell's always the last people to confirm what they're going to do on any given month, we do a monthly sort of, I can't call it a recap video because we're not recapping. We're not, for one time I called it a forecast video, but we're not forecasting either. We know what's coming out. I have a notebook of knowledge right here telling you exactly what it is. So it's sort of just a mass information. All of the things you need to know about November will be in that one video. And then we're also going to be doing a 2015 first quarter speculation video. This will be everything that we know that Revell is going to be doing, everything we know that Round 2 is going to be doing. That covers AMT, MPC, Polar Lights, and Lindbergh. And then we'll speculate a little bit, because I'm probably going to hold off until that Yokohama show comes out, because I want to know what this new tool supercar is going to be. And I see no reason to speculate before I know. And then we'll talk a little bit more about, that other version of that Nissan Sunny. We'll have some pictures of that. Some other kits that we think are coming down the pipeline from, what we've heard. And then, just talk about what we'd like to see people do with kits that already exist. So that's where we're at, guys. And until we see you in the next video or next week, if you choose not to join us in either of those, we'll see you on the other side.